Welcome to IS Diva. Today I wanted to go over a little bit with budgeting and creating spreadsheets. I'm trying to get comfortable here. Yes, I'm in my bed. It's a lazy Saturday. I'm going to take advantage of that. I'm not going to work or anything like that. So with it being the new year, it's still January. I almost finished with January. But this is a great way to get yourself into perspective as far as how you want to plan out your finances for the year. There are a lot of different free courses you could take on EDX, Coursera, just Googling how to create a budget. There are a lot of templates that exist out there so you can use. My thing was for January and this year, I'm increasing my credit score and I also want to decrease my spending. So last year I actually moved, which increased my spending as far as rent and utilities. So I have to find ways to cut back. And I mean, I've had increases. It's just ridiculous. Some of the increases I've had, and it's just because I haven't, um, set a budget for myself. I haven't stuck to what I wanted to do. So what I did as of the end of December, I literally went through my freezer because I had so much food because I went from having two refrigerators to one. So some of my food is still in my parents' place. And what I did, I just gathered all my stuff out of my freezer so I could organize number one. But I end up saying, okay, now I got to make meals out of just this. I'm not going to the grocery store, which I'll go to the grocery store and kill it in a minute. So I'm not going to the grocery store. I'm just going to go to the grocery store for just necessities like eggs or milk, stuff like that. But I have a surplus of things in there. My cabinets, I have a lot of food in. So I pretty much just went through and made meals with everything I have in there. I have a lot of cooked food that I just froze because I had too much of it. So I'm just really not buying a lot of stuff, which is preventing me from going to the restaurants a lot also. I mean, what I did, I downloaded, because I buy everything through my credit cards. And so I downloaded the statements from November, December, and January. So I'm pretty much done with January. So I said, let me see if this all worked. And it did. My expenses were well below half this month. So very, very, very proud of myself, which is what I'm supposed to be doing anyway. So I'm going to pull up calculate. I altered some of my numbers and the descriptions and things, but it's pretty simple. You just want to download your transactions that you're doing, or however you want to do it, just compile it. So what I'm going to do now is go over so you can kind of see. You want to have your spreadsheet together, and just really something simple. Transaction date, the description should automatically download if you're using your credit card statement. You want to have your categories so you know what you're spending your money on, what the bulk is going towards, and then how much everything pretty much costs. So what you want to do is create a table, and it's also helpful to see a chart if you want to do that as well. Some people are more visual learners, and you need to see it in pretty pictures or colors, however that may work for you. And then you also want to have a chart that gives you the raw data so you can see, like for me in big bold red, what is my biggest dollar amount? What has been the changes? So you want to see the percentage of increase and decrease. So we're going to start off with a pivot table. Pivot tables are awesome because you can construe the data so you can be able to manipulate it. Well, not manipulate it, but move it around. So we're going to start off by pretty much highlighting. Yeah, a lot of stuff. And this is me taking out crap too. So, all right. So here's all the things. So now you want to go ahead and insert a pivot table. I'm using Excel right now. All right. So I'm selecting that table range and I'm putting in a new worksheet. So within my workbook. And okay. So now I need to actually, yes, okay. So I want to look at transaction dates. I don't necessarily need the description. I want my categories and I want how much everything was. So now I need to say I want to have where I can easily see my January compared to my November compared to my December. So November, December, January, that's the order I want it in. So my value is, of course, the sum of my debt, which is over here. Now I need my columns to represent my transaction date. So I'm just going to drag and drop it over there. So you see how that just moved everything so it's clear and concise? I can actually see and understand what this is saying. Now I want to start off with my November. So I'm going to drag this over here, and then I want my December next to that. All right. So now I have it set up with my November, my December, and my January to easily compare. And that's how you can see your grand totals for everything and all. So that was just nice and easy. Not a lot of copying and pasting that you need to do. Pivot tables are awesome. So now, if you want to see a chart, you can do a column chart. All right. Look how easy that is. We'll actually put it in there. Okay. So let's close this up. Set it my way and make it a little bigger. All right. So, all right. I really hate my mouse. So this makes things nice and simple for you to see. And you can also alternate things by saying, what is my dollar amount? So you want to just right click on the top of the column, add data labels, add data labels. And you can do it for each one. And then again. Come on, mouse. There we go. All right. So you'll have to make the chart as big as you need it to see everything. But there. So that makes it so it's easy to compare. Like if you look here, you know your November is in this blue, December I have is in orange, my January is in gray. So clearly in November and December, I did blue, and I did $108 per se for clothing, and then I decreased in December to only $45. So that's a nice decrease that you can see. So it's easy to just be able to look at your numbers side by side, kind of compare if you want to see the categories. Clearly, my gas was off the chain in December. And there's just a lot of traveling and things I did. And I can easily see also in December, I did a lot of entertainment. So I was driving back and forth between the city, between my house, and that's what increased my entertainment as well as my gas. So you can see some correlations in that. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is show you how to see these figures. So I'm just going to go ahead and take this. Well, I don't even need the grand total. Oh yeah, we can keep it. Let me see. I'm going to open another sheet, and I'm going to paste in just the values. Okay. I'm going to get rid of. No, I need to keep that. Okay. So now we're showing the different categories. Let's expand that. Right now, I want to have a section here to say what's my dollar increase or decrease. And then I also will dollar increase from November through December. And I want to have a dollar increase December through January. And then I want a percentage increase. November, December, percentage increase December to January. All right, so now here we come with our numbers. So we want to do the dollar increase from November through December. So we're going to do a sum. So that'll be December minus November. Okay. And then you just simply hit this little plus to calculate it out. Now we're going to do the same thing for December and January. So I want to see my difference from January through December. And this again is simply my dollar amounts. All right. So now I want to see my, so that's my dollar amount. Now I want to see the difference in the percentage. So in case you want to say I had a such and such percentage drop in my clothing. So same thing. You want to really do the difference, December from November. And then for the percentage, you need to divide by your original, which would have been my November. Okay, and then this is going to be a percent. Same thing for your December and January. What is my difference divided by my original? Okay, and this again is a percent. Now I'm going to quickly turn this into a sortable table, so I'm filtering. Now from here, I want to start off with all of my positives. In this case, positives. Okay, so in this case, your positives will be bad. This is the only word where positives can be bad. So I want to go ahead and see, put those in red so it can be easily identifiable. Something's spinning around. I'm trying to see it. I don't got this sorted right. My grand total got my way. Oh no. Okay, let me back all this sorting business up. Okay. So I have to make sure I'm filtering the entire thing. It has a space, so it missed that. Okay, now let's try this again. There we go. So again, positives are bad. Leave my zeros alone. All of this pound div, that just means that it's not a divisible number there. So I'm just making all of these red. These two. Alright, so here you have a nice clear picture for yourself that you can analyze very easily. So now if you just want to go through and say, hide this information, right? Don't delete it because it'll delete your data. So now where is everything at? So here's my grand total. All right. Okay, so pretty much in my decrease or increase, however you want to look at that, from November to December. In December, I spent less in my medical, which I know that was, I had a collection I paid off. I paid less in my clothing, less with my phone and cable, which I need to look into that. Why is it so high anyway? My household expenses decreased, my grocery decreased, insurance stayed the same. Well, no, insurance, yeah, stayed the same. Didn't have an issue with that difference or anything. Passport was something totally different. Didn't even have that category. Dry cleaning didn't have that category. But you'll see my hair expenses increased in December. Traveling, because I got my son a ticket on Amtrak. Dining expenses increased. Entertainment increased. House expenses increased. Healthcare increased. My gas increased. So you see, I had more of an increase in December by $441. And this is just typical numbers I'm running. So if you look at December to January, when I made my decision, I'm not about to do all this crazy stuff, then we see there was a difference, $956 decrease. Okay, so then you could do the same thing for your percentage. I had a decrease in medical by 100%, a decrease in my household expenses. And then when you want to look at the final numbers here, all right, I had a 40% increase with my nails, but I had a 2% increase in my phone and cable, and my grand total all in the way, but my gas decreased by 60%. Okay, by 60%. It was actually way more. Well, that was my dining and my gas. 61% decrease from December to January, a decrease. So I did very well in my goals. So in total, I decreased my expenses by 56%. So that is how you can go ahead and organize your data and